Hello, this is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. I am your host of the Spiritually Motivated and Inspirational Podcast. And today I would like to ask this question: do we ever think about the seed that we plant and how long it will take for it to grow? There are many times when we have had different seeds that we sow. If we think about our seasonal, during the spring and summer, during the spring, early spring, we often are planting beautiful seeds for flowers, or we have vegetable seeds or fruit, just herbs that we're planting. And each seed has a duration of time. Now, if we connect that to our everyday life, God allows certain seeds to grow. Either they will grow rapidly, like within maybe a couple of months, or it may take years. In our lives, whenever we are praying and asking God for a blessing, we need to stop and think about what we are asking for, and is it an overnight type of blessing? Is it instantaneously, or is it a time where it might take a little time for it to come to pass? If we think about apples, and oranges, and lemons, and lime trees, we have to think about the germination time from the time that they are planted to the time that they grow to the time that they start bearing fruit. It's not instantaneous. Whereas with a tomato, we plant those seeds, they'll go, and it's between a 2 or 3 week time period when they begin to grow. But then we're looking for fruits to be growing off of this tree, possibly in the next 2 to 6 weeks, possibly 8 weeks or 12 weeks, depending on if the tree was grown from the actual seeds or if we bought the plant and it started growing. When we are looking at this from this aspect, what are we asking God for? Are we asking God to bless us with a job, bless us with a new vehicle possibly, or bless us with our right mind, to give us a good sense of direction in our lives? What type of seed would that be considered? If we are looking like a job, that could be considered like a seed of a tomato plant, of a cucumber, of a pepper tree, or something of that magnitude. However, a car could be in the line up of a grape bushel of grapes, a grapevine, knowing that it may take a little longer for you to get to that point. Then if we're praying for houses or a home or apartment, depending on what we're looking for, we can put those in the realms or the realm of a apple or orange tree. We plant seeds every day of our life, whether they're good seeds or bad seeds. We plant them. The germination time and the growth process to the point of harvesting depends on what kind of plant or what kind of seed we plant. Now, if we sow evil don't take too long to grow. It'll come back pretty quickly. If we sow good, it depends on what good type of good we sow. If we sow goodness of our hearts for $1, let's just say that we're giving to the bell ringers on the corner, street corners, especially during the Christmas holiday. We put in $1. Sometimes those particular seeds grow back pretty quick because someone else will bless you with some type of financial gain. Usually, possibly, it could be a raise. It could be a bonus. It could even be something as simple as someone buying you a cup of coffee. Even though a cup of coffees nowadays are more than $1. We are trying to get closer to God. We're trying to have a better relationship with God. We are wanting to be so close to God that people will see God in us. We are so close to God. We will start illuminating because we have so much of God in us, like Moses did. Moses was in the presence of God for so long that the children of Israel couldn't even look upon him because his skin radiated. It shined. However, the further away we are from God, the darker we are. The further from the light we get, the darker it gets. Have you ever been on a highway where you have highway lights and then all of a sudden it's just nothing but darkness? There's no highway lights anywhere. You have to have your headlights really on high beam in order to get there because it's so dark. The further away from the light you get, the darker it gets. The closer to the light you get, the brighter it gets. And we are trying to find that lock in life where we can say, God, I want to be so close to you. I want to be so much involved with you that I can't separate myself from you. You want to be like a conjoined twin to God. That's how close you want to be. And I pray and I ask the Lord, bless their hearts. I've seen some grown conjoined twins, and it's awesome to see. It is awesome to see, but at the same time, it's very scary to see because they have a difficult life that they have to live. But we want to have that type of relationship with God, that we become so close to Him, we're conjoined with Him, that you don't want to be far away from Him, that the further away you are from Him, that you feel like you are missing something. I tell my children all the time, I do not like to start my day out without a prayer. I do not. I do not like to begin my day without a prayer, without spending time with God. And when I come, let's just say I come back in, I do not like to be separated from God from too long. I need to do something. Whatever I need to do, I need it to be God oriented. That is how close I am to God. I tell my children, I don't even feel right if I don't say anything to God. Whether I'm getting up in the morning or before I go to bed at night. I don't care if my heart is broken. I don't care if my spirits are shattered. I don't care if I am crying, that I am lowly in my spirit. I cannot go without talking to God. I cannot go through anything without talking with Him. And the reason why that is because I found a comfort spot within His wing, under His wing, in His bosom. I found a comfort spot, and I don't feel right. I don't care what kind of day I had. I could have had a very chaotic day. And as you know, I've had multiple things that have happened throughout the course of this year. But I never, ever, ever found myself pulling myself away from God. I never found myself ever saying to God, you're just allowing this to happen. My attitude is a seed that I'm planting. My demeanor is another seed that I'm planting. My lips of praises are seeds that I'm planting. And I am looking to God. I am looking to God to rain on these seeds. I'm looking to God to bless those seeds, to bring forth an increase of some sort. I am looking to God to do something miraculous in my life. It's not always looking for things. I remember I had an issue with one of my favorite stores that I love to shop in. I had an issue with the employee. And it was actually I won't say not just one employee, but quite a few of them. And I spend a lot of money there. And I told the manager, I said, I'm not going to pay anybody to mistreat me. Not anybody. And if this is the way that you're going to run your organization, I can just leave. And I'll never come back, and I'll go and find me another favorite store on this same guidelines. And he said, no, that this is not acceptable to us. We're going to work on this, and we're going to see. And every time I walked into that store, I had a cold feeling that I actually just went to another store just like it, but I just went to a totally different store, and I started getting that same feeling even in that particular store. And I said, well, Lord, I'm just going to go online. I'll purchase what I need until I finish my project, and then I'm going to just find me a totally different store. I'm not going to continue to be feeling like this. And I needed something in particular that only this particular store or name store had. And I was near it. So I told my daughter, I said, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to purchase what I need and come on out. I'm hoping and praying that I don't get that same feeling. God showed me something. He said, look what I did. God changed it. God gave me another look. He gave me a new pair of glasses to see change in that store. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, look at God. Look at what God did. Now, I stayed away from that particular store, I guess for 2, 3, 4 months, maybe. And I just happened to go in there because I needed to go out that way anyway for another reason. But while I was out there, it wasn't no point in me going someplace else if I'm right across the driveway from this particular store. But I saw change. God made it very apparent for me to look. He said, look what I did. And I said, thank you, Lord. And the whole impression of the store changed. The whole atmosphere changed. And I said, God's been here. And I was so thankful. I started thanking God right there while I was in the store, because I knew it was only Him. That seed that I felt was some few months ago, like maybe about 4 or 5, maybe 6 months ago. I stopped going to that particular store because I didn't like the way that made me feel. And something just told me, well, you need the yarn anyway, so go on in there and just get it. So I went on in there and I got it. And it was a totally different feeling. It was a totally different perspective, a different environment. And I knew that that was God. So when we plant seeds, the harvest may not be immediate. It takes time. It depends on the plant. Whatever seed that God gives us, or we are going to God with, for whatever the blessing that we are looking for, we continually have to plant seeds of praise, of blessings, of giving thanks, of glorification, of honor. We constantly have to flood the garden with these seeds. And as we put these seeds in this garden, God has got to rain on it to make it grow. It might not grow immediately, but it's in the makings. And the more we give God praise and the more glory we send up to Him, the more He's going to rain. God will shut up His clouds because we get attitudes real quick. Because God, I asked God for this 3 weeks ago, and God still haven't come through. But, we don't see what's going on the backside of things. We're only seeing what we see. God said we are not to walk by sight. We are to walk by faith. But we tend to walk by sight because we're not seeing the results the way we want to see. God knows our hearts. He knows our minds, and He knows our spirits. God knows when we are true. He knows when we are faithful. When we are diligent. God just don't want to see a house seed or a car seed or a job seed. He doesn't want to just see a seed of healing or a seed of money, a seed of growth in your business. He just don't want to see those seeds. He wants to see the seeds of praise, of thankfulness, of gratitude, of lifting Him up, of acknowledgement, of giving Him glory, of His power. God wants to see us grow in those seeds as well. That when we overfill our garden with all the goodness that God has given us and giving Him thanks and praise, then God is going to reign. He going to reign. And in the midst of Him reigning over all them seeds of gratitude that was placed in that garden, the seed for a house, the seed for a car, the seed for a healing, the seed for money, a new job, whatever other seeds that is in that garden will get the same rain that the other seeds of gratitude and of thankfulness is getting, and they're all going to grow together in the midst of it. God is in behind this, because I've never seen it like that before. Our garden, when you plant apple seeds, you expect apples. When you plant tomato seeds, you expect tomatoes. When you plant cucumber or roses or tulips or daisies, you are expecting these to grow. And you're looking for God to rain on them so they can flourish. What God is looking for his blessings, from the fruits of our lips. When we plant those seeds and we outdo all the other seeds that we asking God for, a husband, a wife, a child, a vacation, whatever we're looking for God for, God will rain on the blessings that we sent up from our lips. But he's also going to rain on the seeds that you planted that you wanted from God. And when the harvest come in, the harvest of God's blessings, the harvest of his gratitude and goodness and thanksgiving, they're going to grow. But also what's going to grow is everything else that you ask for, if it's God's will for you to have. And we got to put that clause in it, if it's his will. And when it grows, you'll know it was from God. But it takes time, depending on the type of seed that you plant. Nothing but God. I truly have to give God glory to that, because I've never seen that before. He's opened that up to me as I am sitting here speaking. And I have to give God that glory, that honor, that power, that praise, that acknowledgement, because I did not think of that before. That was God's doing. We all have seeds that we have planted in God's garden. But until we start planting more praise, more gratitude, more thanksgiving, more uplifting and glory in that garden, what our seeds are going to do is just sit there. We got to pull the rain down. And how we do it? When we start lifting up our voices in praise. Nothing but God. That is nothing but God. And I thank God for that word. That just warmed my heart to hear that from God. That is nothing but God. You want God to bless you? You want God to give you the desires of your heart according to his will? Send up praises unto him. But burst the bubble on the clouds to make it rain. Because when God makes it rain, then we can reap our harvest. This is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. You have yourself a wonderful and blessed day.